Hello Transformers fans, Veelio here, and today we're looking at a brand new figure, Transformers X Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Party WALLOP collaboration figure. In the 40th year anniversary collaboration between both brands, we've got a figure that is more than meets the eye. Let's get into it. Before we crack Party WALLOP open, I want to take a quick moment to look at this really nice packaging. The original Transformers More Than Meets the Eye logo at the top, some old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff splattered all around the packaging, a photo of the alt mode there in the bottom, and the plastic returning for the first time in a while. I know we're coming back to that in the studio series, but it's the first time in a long time we've had some actual plastic packaging on a Transformers figure. And on the side, you can see a look at all the accessories we're going to have, including the 4 different masks. So you can choose any of the turtles. We'll get into that later. And on the back, we've got a nice little spread of all 4 different turtles and their names. Obviously, Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael. And finally, we've got a little 40 years of Transformers on the bottom left and a 40 years of Ninja Turtles on the top right, which is really, really cool. It's a very unique piece of packaging, unlike anything we've seen. Obviously, it's a collaboration figure, so it's going to be a little bit more unique. So, without further ado, let's get this figure open. So, here we have Party WALLOP in his robot form. There are a wide range of accessories to go here. We're going to get to all of them straight away. But first of all, I want to talk about the actual figure as a whole. It's a very big, bulky figure. Like, straight away, it feels really solid, really chunky, and really big. It has got a massive backpack, as you can see on the side there, but it resembles that of a turtle shell, which I think is actually really, really cool. It does seem a little bit cluttered on first thought, so there's a lot going on here, but I don't mind it. The greens and the yellows really pop, they really go together. The face, which obviously we're going to get into much more detail later on when we get into the removable heads that I'm sure many of you have seen. The face is really well worked. It looks really cool. I love that the nose kind of comes forward, but works into the mouth on either side. There's a lot of character in there. It's a very unique head sculpt as well. It does really look like a robot turtle, effectively, which obviously it's meant to do. I love the yellow armor here, and I love, if you look here, the detailing on the armor here in the actual chest plate is so nice. The detailing on the belt with that slightly off yellow compared to the more orangey, goldy yellow on top. The 2 tones going across there really makes this armor strike out on the chest and also on the pelvic area. And then you've also got the flaps done on the side of the legs as well that have the yellow, which really do pop against the green as well. And a little bit of grey splattered around as well in the legs, the hands, and on the bottom of the feet too. It's a really colourful figure. There's even some red here at the top I just noticed. It's a really colourful figure. It really pops and stands out. The green kind of gives some Springer vibes to it. We haven't seen a yellow figure that's big, you know, since like OG Bumblebees that were really big, but we don't really do them anymore. They're a lot smaller. So it's a really cool, unique figure to have a look at. You know, instantly I'm seeing a lot of really cool details, like the wheels here on the thighs and wheels on the bottom of the feet as well, which is really unique. You don't see that very often at all. So it's an interesting figure that doesn't look like anything we've seen before, which for a collaboration figure, for something that's so different and so new, you'd want it to kind of look like that. You want it to be something that looks like nothing else on your display piece. So I think it's really interesting to see just how many things we have in only the figure itself. And that's before we get into the absolute insane amount of accessories, which I haven't seen this many accessories on a Transformers toy mainline figure in a very long time. Obviously, they're going all out here with the collaboration. So let's have a quick look at the kind of things we're going to get with this figure. So here you can see the insane amount of accessories we're getting with this figure. It's a really good touch, I think, that they've given accessories for every single main turtle. That kind of makes sense to me, because if you're going to get one, you get them all in a way. You can display whichever one you want. I would not have been surprised if they had done 4 separate figures of this, the exact same thing, just with different accessories. So I think it's a really neat touch. As you can see here, we've got a head for every single turtle and their corresponding classic weapons that go with them. So swords like this are really cool, loads of detail in them, really big as well. We've got some mini knives here, 2 of those. The nunchucks are really cool because they have that actual dangle bit. They would genuinely function like real nunchucks, to say, well, obviously big enough. And this is, I'm not quite sure what this is, but it extends fully, so it's pretty cool. And we've got this here, which I'm not sure what it's going to be. And in my hand, which may be the coolest thing out of all of them, and I'll have to look at the instructions to figure out where it actually goes. We've got a Ninja Turtles, if it focuses, there we go, a tiny little Ninja Turtles circle, and on the other side of it is a pizza. How classic is that? So a load of accessories here, really cool. But don't let that take away from how good the actual main figure is. I want to just reiterate how much I like this figure. It's big, it's bulky, it feels really, really solid. So to have all these accessories is just a really great bonus if you ask me. And if you want to pick any turtle, you can have them with their corresponding weapon, which I think is great. So to customize your turtle to make it the turtle you would like is so simple. It could not be any easier. It requires no screws, no anything. All you have to do is pinch the top of the head here, give it a tiny bit of a pull, and it literally comes off just like that. It's such a small piece with the tab right there. It's so easy. And then you can pick absolutely any head you want. Let's pick this one, for example, and it will just plop right on. Oh, I've started the transformation, haven't I? It will plop right on like that, and boom, there you go. And to add that extra bit to it, we've got Raphael here. So let's make it as obvious as it can be that we've got Raphael as our choice here. You can flick up this little tab here on the waist, and would you look at this, any one of these on the belt has the corresponding letter of the character you want on them. So let's flick it round to Raphael. There we go, and put it back down, and bang, we've got the Raphael belt on and the headscarf. What a really cool feature. I love that customization. And now, of course, Raphael does hold those tiny little knives as per the instructions, so we can slot them into both of his hands, and we just like that have customized our turtle to be Raphael. And should we want to make it any of the other ones, it is as easy as that once again to change them back over. What a great feature. Any day of the week I can choose whatever turtle I want. I love it. Another really cool touch is that the instructions also come with a little guide in case you're not very well versed in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lore, which, to be fair, I'm not. It gives you a little guide on what weapons go with what characters to be completely accurate. Although, obviously, it doesn't actually matter. You can pair whatever weapons you want with your favourite colour if you really don't mind. But if you do care about them kind of things and you're just not sure, that's a good little touch, I think. It tells you all the customization products that you need to make your favourite turtle. So all these little gimmicks are all well and good, and it's great having all these different accessories you can see over on the side here, but none of it actually matters if the figure itself isn't good. So let's talk articulation. We've been over the design of the figure, we've been over the colours, and we know that, I think, in my opinion, it's very nice. It's vibrant, it's great, it's a strong, bulky figure that holds up well, but can you pose it? Can you articulate it? Can you make it move? Let's find out together. And we'll start off at the top as per usual with the head, which can rotate the whole entire way round. It can look up pretty far, and it can look down a tiny little bit as well. So there's some decent articulation there on the head. This backpack does technically plug into those tabs you can see there, and when it's there, it should stay pretty solid. It is a little bit flimsy and can pop off, but that might not be something you mind, because you may want to angle it in a certain way to have these guns at the back looking one way or another, although the guns in question do also bend themselves, not any more forward, but a little bit back as well. On the arms, it can go out that far. It's a little bit blocked by this, but if you just move the shoulder pad all the way up, you can get the extra movement, and it can go all the way around. It's a little bit impeded by the backpack, but as you can see, it's quite easy to manoeuvre. The shoulder pads themselves are a nice little touch that don't actually tab into anywhere, so they are easily movable as you please. There is a crunch at the bicep, which is very nice to see, and of course a swivel at the bicep as well. These parts on the arms here don't really serve much of a purpose, unfortunately, and they don't have any kind of movement on them. And the hands themselves can't move, there's no finger articulation, but the wrists do swivel, which is a nice touch. The hands slightly bend in, as you can see, but that's more for the transformation than anything. They don't actually have any kind of proper movement or articulation. In the waist, you've got a lovely swivel. It can go the whole entire way around if you need it to, which is very nice. There's no ab crunch or anything like that, but on the legs, you do have, obviously, the push upwards, which you can use to manipulate it if you need to. The legs also do go back the whole entire way as well. Once again, a little bit blocked by the backpack, but nothing that really matters once you get to this far. And they spread virtually the whole way out as well, which is very cool. The wheels on the back of on the sides of the legs can go up. There's no side swivel, but they can go up a little bit if you need to manipulate it in any way possible. And of course, there's a bend at the knee as well, and a swivel at the thigh. The feet have got some very good articulation, considering how blocky they are, and there's a lot going on there, especially with the wheel as well. No toe articulation, as you might expect with toes that look like this, because they are turtle toes, but a very good ankle pivot for something that's so blocky and chunky. Not something that I would have expected at all. So overall, it's a pretty well articulated figure. Not anything insane or groundbreaking, but for a especially chunky figure, you can move that very well and get it in a wide range of poses. And when you consider all the different weapons you have and how many different poses you might want to get it into, that is very, very welcomed indeed. So I'm quite impressed with the articulation on this figure. So a quick look at the instructions gives you a bit more insight into what some of these parts over here are for. And this part here, which very obviously is going to be the front of the truck, can actually be placed here to make a bulkier chest plate. So let's try that out. You also get the pizza piece, which you put on this way around according to the instructions, but I'm sure you can use the pizza piece one way or another. So it clips into place there, and then you can use these ports here to go into each of the holes there. It will just clip into place like that. And then you have a whole different front there. So you've got two options there on what to do. This one is a really cool display piece. I love how it kind of looks like a face with the eyes there, the nose, and also the mouth, which is the exact same mouth design, even though it's obviously just the grills of a car, but the same mouth design as the actual mouth on the face skirt, which is really cool. So there is another design option for you right there if you would so like it. One of the other options you have with this front piece is if you turn it around, you can pull this tab here forward like so, which reveals this port here, and plug it into the arm to make a shield, which is another cool feature. There's a lot of versatility with this figure. That's one of its really, really strong points. It really makes it stand out. It has got a lot of versatility. Another thing this figure has is a load of options for storage. All the accessories and weapons can be stored, which is really cool. If you come over to the back here and move the gun to go backwards like this, you have the option to move this all the way up and out of the way, which reveals these bits here. You can pull these parts open, and each one of these can be used to store every single spare head in. So you can hold all of it in there, and once you've got them all in there, it will shut right back up like nothing's ever happened, and you've got them all stored in there, which is a really, really cool feature. This small accessory piece plugs into the back here on this hole, which doesn't really serve much of a purpose during robot mode, but of course will once we get to transform it. And this hole here is used for the bumper in this port here, and it just slides on the back like that, completing the look of the back there. If you grab these shoulder pads and pull them upwards like we did earlier, you can actually put the nunchucks in here using these tabs, which is really, really cool and efficient. This is how it will look when they're in, and you can obviously fold it back down nice and easily. The knives have a small tab on the side there, which just plug into the sides of the wheel right there at the bottom. And that is a really cool look, because not only does it store them, but it also looks great on the figure to have knives coming off the side of his wheels. It really adds to the character. If you spin the figure to the side, you will see these little slabs here, and that is where the sword goes, using either of these here. I'm going to put them this way, so they're curving along the back of his actual back. I think that's a really cool look, and once again, it's a really, really good thing that you can have every single bit of weapon in different places on the body, not all just stored in one place, so it's looking very, very unique. And you can dropped the right one again. You can see them on the side there alongside the knives, and you can just about make out the nunchucks too. So it just adds to that character of this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, having all the different weapons and accessories on his body. And last but not least, if you open the back up where all the heads were originally stored, you'll see this bit here, which is where you can fold up the other weapon and lastly plug it into there, which makes for every single accessory on this figure completely accounted for and on the body of it as you get ready for the transformation of this figure, which we're going to do right now to turn Party WALLOP into the party van. So during transformation, I actually missed a step, which I'll just go back and show you. When you have this bit fully out before you attach all of the bottom bit, you just need to fold out these yellow bits again. So when you attach it all back up, like so, the final step is to just unfold this tab here, and that covers up that panel there when you tab it all together. And so here we have Party Wagon in the complete vehicle mode. And once you get your head around the transformation, it looks really, really sleek and nice. It is a really cool looking wagon. It has that really cool bumper at the back. The only main downside, I would say, is that the feet do go at the bottom there. You can see them. That does cause a little bit of disruption on the rolling. Not too much, but a little bit. But design-wise, I really, really like it. The transformation is quite fun. It only took me a couple of times to get my head around it. It can be a little bit panelly, especially all these bits on the side there. And plugging in the shoulder bits here cause a little bit of issue. Tabbing them all together can be a little bit finicky and annoying. But the finished product is really, really nice. You can see what I mean there. It's hard to get everything into one place. But with a little bit of playing around, you tend to get there. And it is a nice clean finish. I love the opaque windows here. The blue's really, really nice. The reds on the top here look really, really cool as well. And of course, that grille on the face is really, really nice. Overall, it's amazing. Unfortunately, my copy has got a tiny little blemish there, but that's nothing to be too worried about. The yellows and the greens pop out once again really, really nicely. And once again, there is a lot of room for weapon storage. Pretty much all of it coming from the bottom. You have the option to pose the guns on top as you please, whether you want to move them up or have them flat down, however you'd like them. And the turtle shell being on top as if it was a turtle is a really, really nice touch as well. Overall, I probably prefer the turtle mode, as I love all the different customizable options that you have. But the Party WALLOP is a really, really cool figure with a really cool transformation as well, and a very unique one. It's not every day you see a transformer with an alternative mode like this. So for that alone, I think it's a really, really cool figure. A couple of things product-wise in terms of the actual final delivery is a little bit finicky. A couple of the tabs don't tab in as strong as I'd like them to, but overall I really, really like it. I love the way both modes look, and I love that you can get all 4 of the Ninja Turtles from just one figure rather than having to buy 4 different ones. I think that's a really, really great part of this, that it makes it really, really worth the money you pay for it as well. And so overall, I'm going to have to say this is a pretty good figure. Unfortunately, you'll be disappointed to hear there's no C-Spray today. He's having some maintenance work back at the Autobot base. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. As far as collaboration figures go, it is not a bad one at all. It's really unique. The colours are great. The design's great. The transformation lets it down a little bit, but the finished product on either side, robot and vehicle, is really, really cool. So overall, 4 out of 5. Pretty solid. One of the better figures that you're going to get from a mainline Transformers, especially a mainline Transformers collaboration. If you're a fan of Transformers, if you're a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you would be crazy not to pick this up, because at the end of the day, when you pose it in one of the numerous poses you can get it in, it simply looks amazing, and for that alone, it is worth the price point. So that concludes my review on the Party WALLOP Transformers TMTN collaboration. If you have enjoyed this video, please do let me know in the comments below, and consider liking and subscribing too, as that really does help the channel to grow, and I would really, really appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying all the Transformers content on this channel. If you want to see any more content like some Lego builds and some gaming, check out the live tab, as I stream fairly often at the moment, doing all kinds of things on my live. However, if you want to see pure Transformers content, just subscribe and keep noted for all the videos here, and there will be Transformers review and Transformers content again and again. So thanks again for watching, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you all in another video or a live stream very, very soon. Goodbye.